Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia, and with me today we have Nick.
Heyo.
And Brandon.
Hello.
We're here to talk about games and things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's on the agenda today. Mysteries to solve, zombies, trilogies remastered, something like that. Maybe in that order.
guess.
I don't know. Yeah?
Things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, I'll go first. I got the newest, most topical thing. So, Famicom Detective Club.
Hey.
Yeah. Came out last week. So, for those that have not been following along, it's the remake of the original NES / Super Nintendo visual novel games that Nintendo had made. And it's basically, it's a visual novel. It's a story with like the disguise of a game. It's probably the best way to put it. So what do I say? So I finished the first one already, the first game in the story. I mean, it's a decent length. I wish I could see. I wish the Switch would not like make you wait like 10 days to see how much time you've put into the game. Kind of annoying, but I mean, it definitely was a decent amount of time to get through it. It's, I believe each game has like 11 chapters to it. And so this is my take on it. So visual novel game to me is only as good as its story, which is different than most visual novel games most games rather, because most games you would be like gameplay is important, but visual novel it's like the story because that's what drives you along, and the gameplay is kind of like the trivial add-on bits that kind of just they're the parts that actually make it a game instead of a novel. So the story, I found it to be incredibly captivating, at least for the first game. I've only maybe like quarter of the way into the second game, so I haven't gotten like terribly far into it. But at least for the first game, I really enjoyed the story. Kept me on my toes, lots of twists and turns. And it did that thing too, where like near the end, like you're getting all these theories. You'd be like, oh, I think this, and I think this, and I think this. And some of them were right. And I think probably like at least 75% of the way through the game, I was pretty close to almost entirely accurately guessing the ending, which I was pretty happy with. It was very satisfying to see it all come together. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. The gameplay, though, that aspect of it, it's weird, kind of. It's not, I don't know if it's not, like, it could use some updating, maybe, but then if you do, then it kind of loses the quote-unquote gameplay part that it has. I don't know. So let me try to explain it, like, what's weird about it. So let's say you're talking to a character, all right? And it will be like, the way it works is it'll be like, let's just say it was like a version of the podcast. We can be like, ask about Brandon. So you ask about Brandon and be like, Brandon's a redhead.
Yeah, I guess so.
Then you really look at the options again. There's still ask about Brandon, and there's ask about Nick, and we'll say ask about Craig. And so you ask about Brandon again, and it'll be like, he likes
I like
anime.
that ask about Craig exists. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, exactly. So then we say like, well, let's just say we click on like ask about Craig. Why? He's a robot, and he's like he's a robot, and he thinks Brandon's a murderer. And then you're like, oh, okay. So then you go back to like
He's
ask
probably
about
right.
Brandon, and then it'll be like, oh, I think Brandon's a murderer too. Like you have to do things in a very specific sequence. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well. Like you have to like ask about Brandon, and then you find out this other information, and then it opens up something else. You can't just, it's not like Phoenix Wright where you can just kind of like go down the line and just ask, and you get everything. You have to do it in a certain order. So it's like you ask, and then maybe you look at something, and then that triggers something else, and then you have to go back and ask about it again. So it's weird. So some like the sequences to advance are just kind of confusing. Like the example I would have is there was one time I was like in this office, and like I go through all, at least what I thought was all the dialogue stuff, and it didn't let me advance. So I'm like, oh, maybe there's something I'm missing. So I look around the room, and there's these files, and I go to click on them, and the lady's like, don't touch those files. And I was like, oh, okay. And I still can't advance. I clicked on everything in the room. I'm like, what the hell? And then I go back through the dialogue again, and I found some dialogue that I missed, and I was like, oh, okay, this must be what I wanted to find out. But then still wouldn't let me leave. And then, so I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what am I missing? So then I look around the room again, and I click on the files again, and then that's what triggered it. Be like, she's like, don't touch those files, get the fuck out of here. And it kicks me out. And that was the trigger. Like, you have to do it in a very specific order, or like it just doesn't let you advance. And I guess like the nice thing is though, like, when you're in those places. So it's not like I can remember some instances in like Phoenix Wright where like you're in the investigation phase and you're looking for something, but you don't know where it is, you don't know which location it is, you don't know what detail it is you're missing, but you're missing something because you can't advance. This you're like trapped in a specific location, so it's like it's something there, but you don't know where it is, but you just kind of figure it out. I mean, it's a
This
little
is that
frustrating.
old school kind of annoyance from visual
Yeah,
novels.
it is.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of nice because it's self-limited. Like, it doesn't let you get like too frustrated. Like, if I had like 10 different areas to go through and I'm like trying to figure it out, I'd have been like, this is fucking annoying. But it's just like one area, you're limited to a certain amount of things. So it's just like, which part of the sequence am I missing? So it's mildly irritating, but not enough to really make me angry about it. But it happened enough that it's worth mentioning, I guess, is probably because it does happen quite a bit. At least it happened a bunch in the first game. The second game seemed to have more quality of life upgrades than the first game. And I think that's because it's the second time that this game was remade.
Okay.
Wait, it's been remade before?
Yeah, so the first game was both games were originally on the Famicom. The second game was also remade for the Super Famicom before it was remade on the Switch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I've never heard of it, and that's really weird because I figured I would have, especially with
Well,
Super Famicom. I played weird Super Famicom games.
I mean, it never
Huh.
came out here. It's a
Yeah,
text
I mean,
novel.
Mhm.
Those
yeah,
things were like,
emulation. People. I wonder if people ever patched that one. It probably isn't got an English patch.
I would say, like, at least in my experience with like
So
localization stuff, like that
this
kind of stuff takes forever to localize. So it was
this
never
might
like,
explain it, Brandon. The Girl Who Stands Behind, which is the second one, remade for the Super Famicom and released through the Nintendo Power Flash cartridge service in April
There it
1998.
is. That's the reason. Okay. That makes way more sense. No,
Yeah.
see, I know you're saying localization, but I'm talking about localization via fans, as in fan-made translations, like Mother's
no, I
fan-made
know.
translation. Because those
Like-
people, they don't give a fuck. They will go ham translating anything.
Actually, so Brandon's also right for that because the fans released a translation patch for this version in 2004.
oh damn, I did
I
not know
thought
that.
this existed, but I
Well, there you
so
go.
I hadn't heard of the second one, like as a what do you call it? As a Super Nintendo game or
Yeah.
Super Famicom, but I thought there was a translation before.
They even did a Game Boy Advance version if we really
Yeah.
wanted to. But yeah, I didn't know there's any localization work on this game like at all. But I mean, I guess it's fair because I had not looked in like years and years and years and years at this point. So, but yeah, I would say at least from what I've seen, like these are very good versions to play. Like they work very nicely. And I thought it was really weird because like the game when it booted up, like the first Japanese voice actor I heard, I like recognized him. And that was a very strange feeling for me because I was like, I know this
What?
voice actor.
Who
Yeah.
was it?
Oh.
Well, I don't know. I recognized him from another game. If that makes sense.
Mm,
I was like, oh, this dude's totally the guy that voiced Crom in Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Oh, okay.
And it's weird because I looked at the IMDb and it wasn't there. I actually had to do like a legitimate Google search to find it. And I was like, oh,
Welcome to how every weeb feels
About
when
to
they watch
say,
an
welcome to the
anime.
club.
They're just like, who is that man?
But it's weird because I've never had that before with like that kind of thing. I'm like, I recognize that voice. So, well, especially too because like I games, it's not like I always sit there and like listen to. I'm not like intimately listening to the Japanese. Like I usually just read the English and just skip the rest of like the talking. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna hear it, listen to you be like, konnichiwa, oh, arigatou gozaimasu. Like, but it doesn't. I mean, it's nice to hear. Like, I like the background noise, but it's not like I'm gonna understand what he's saying. Like, if that makes any sense. He could be talking Animalese from Animal Crossing, and it would be the same effect to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that, but you could definitely tell. What's the word I'm looking for? I've said this before because I had someone be like, it doesn't really matter when I hear something in Japanese because I can't understand what it is, or if I hear something in Korean or some other language, I don't understand what they're saying. And my like rebuttal to that always is like, yeah, but you can understand the inflection in their voice, and sometimes those voice actors that are like the original voice actor are able to do inflection a lot better than the people that are trying to like dub over it or whatever.
Oh, that makes sense. I get that. And you
So
definitely
because like it's their native tongue, so like they're speaking in their native tongue, and then the people that are dubbing over it are dubbing over something that's not in their native language, and there might be some translation thing here and there that then they've translated it to this line, and this line's not a direct translation. So like the people try to give their rendition of what they think this line should sound like, and it doesn't sound as good as the original due to the other people knowing what to say and how to say it because it's their native language.
Yeah. I do have to say, I kind of got a good laugh because, like, this game actually, one of the lines yesterday, like, he was talking to this girl and he made her angry. And, like, the quote on the screen, like, the text on the screen was, I pissed her off. And I was like, ooh, Nintendo's getting spicy in their localization now. Yeah, but I mean, they're very, like I said, the story, at least for the first one so far, like, super enjoyed it. And the second one's interesting too. I haven't gotten through it enough to like really kind of see where the mystery's going. Like, it hasn't completely opened up yet. I like where it's headed. So if it's similar to the first one, I'm sure I'll really enjoy it. But yeah, no,
What's the gameplay aspect about? Is it just click on things and then talk more or less?
Yeah, it's just like Phoenix, right? So you got you go to talk to people, and then you'll go to like crime scenes, and then you look around for clues. Like, they do still do like the examine, like look around. You can look at things and be like, that's a tree. Like, and, like, literally everything has something. It'll be like, that's a tree. It's not important. Like, I can't tell you how many times there's this one place you go in the first game, and I mean, it's a pretty scene, but it's just like, it's a cliff, and there's literally 5 spots that you can click on there, and I swear I've clicked on all of them so many times trying to figure out what the fuck they want you to look at in that area. And it's just like, it's the sky, it's pretty, it's a cliff, better watch out, people commit suicide here. Like, it's just it's a lot. But yeah, it's fun though. Like, and then there is like some puzzle stuff to it too. Like, you do have like some aspect of that. So I thought it was interesting. It did throw some surprises to me, like in terms of like that aspect of it in the first game, because I assume it's kind of holdovers from the NES version. I was like, oh, I'm surprised that they actually had like this kind of stuff in there, because it's kind of clever. So that I thought was really cool. At least I would say in terms of the game, like artistically, it looks great. Like, I like the art style they went with it. I think the voice acting is a nice touch to it, even though you don't really need it. It does have some obvious quality of life stuff that wasn't there in the NES version. Like, there's no way it could have existed. Like, you can, like, if you press, I think it's the X button, you can go back through like dialogue for I don't know how long. It looks like almost the entirety of the entire game. like it just goes on and on and on. Like, I got bored before I got to the end of it. So like, it just looks like it just goes back and back and back and back. And you can just see all the different dialogue things you had. It has a notebook that stores all the important information that you have. And they even kind of like, just like, it's not anything you need. Like, you don't need it to progress. But if you ever want to like go back to it just to refresh yourself, it's there. When you save and quit and come back to the game, it's like, hey, do you want to refresh the story? And it will just go through like a quick kind of like recap of like what's been going on and where you are. Like, it does have some like really nice aspects in that regard. So like, I like those kind of like quality of life additions to it. Like I said, the second one seems to have a little bit more, because I think the first one, it seems like they tried to keep both games as true to the originals as they could. The second one, there'll be instances where like I said in the first game, it will want a very specific like dialogue path for you to trigger the reason to end the sequence. But the second game, it seems to do this thing where it's like, if you completed like a certain sequence, instead of trying to get you to figure out more, it will just like, the talk button will just only talk about what you want it to, instead of like having you ask about what you think it should be. Does that make sense? I don't.
Yeah, somewhat. It's
yeah.
makes
Let me
sense
try-
in the kind of early convoluted games like that. Makes sense.
Well, it's like so. Like I said before, like we were talking about in the podcast, it's like it's like ask about Brandon, ask about Nick, ask about Craig.
Hmm.
So it's like say Craig says Brandon's a murderer. So when I go back to the talk button again in the second game, instead of it being like ask about Brandon, when I press talk, it knows you want to fucking know why Brandon's a murderer, so it just talks about it instead of having you like be like, oh, I want to talk about Brandon. That makes sense. It just it hones in a bit more instead of making you guess for it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So at least it alleviates some of that like guesswork. But music's good. Like other thing I would say about the first game, and I just wanted to say it just because I just feel like I need to get it off my chest a little bit. The ending for the first game was great, but it left a lot of unanswered questions, but not about the story. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Okay.
It was just kind of like, so the mystery's solved completely, 100%. There's no questions about the mystery.
Okay.
Okay.
The mystery.
So you're not like, nothing's unresolved there. But like there's some interactions you would have liked to see between like the main character and some other characters, or two secondary characters in particular that you just never see. And it's just kind of like you're just kind of
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was kind of one of those like they wanted to leave it open to the imagination. If
It
they
also
left it,
could have been cartridge constraints.
I was thinking the same thing too because it was like the ending. It's like
Yeah.
maybe they didn't want to like take the time to like go back and have like the hero talk to everyone, whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe that's what it was. Because
And this happens very, very often, especially with old visual novels.
Mhm.
The actual information you're looking for is in a book somewhere, like maybe the manual of the game, or possibly in a magazine somewhere, or in its own visual like book, like like a
Like a
manga or
visual
that sort of
novel.
thing, like a visual novel, like an actual visual novel, just not just the video game way. So yeah, it's entirely possible they did something like that with this game, and we just don't know because we don't know the original source material.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually be curious to look into that because I was like, I really like. There's a couple of like things I really just, a couple people I really would have liked have talked through like the ending together, and you just don't see it because there is quite a bit of revelations like at the end, and it's like it's pretty significant for other characters too, but you never get to see like their reactions to it. So you're just kind of like, huh, I wonder what they would have thought knowing this. And listen, I mean, it's entirely possible that maybe they didn't want to like close themselves off for like a sequel too. But I do have to say, like, the memory constraint thing actually crossed my mind when I was thinking about it because I was like, it seems like for an NES game, it seemed like a fairly complete ending. But then I was like, oh, I'm like, they had to have crossed their mind to be like, these two people probably would have wanted to talk. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
probably.
But I really enjoyed it. I did. I had a good time with the first game. I went right into the second game. I'm enjoying that so far too.
Hmm.
I don't have anything bad to say about it. Like it seems like it's a decent length. Like I said, I told you about my irritation with it, but
Hmm.
that was like minor and it was not super frustrating, but it happened enough. And that is all my thoughts on it. Unless you guys had any questions about it.
No, not really.
No.
How much were these again?
I think they were like, what was it?
Are
I
these
know if you buy
$30
them,
a piece, making it like $60 altogether?
if you
or...
buy them together, it's $60.
Okay.
And I did actually see that on the eShop, they actually added like a 2-pack that's $60, probably because they realized they were confusing the fuck out of people with that promotion.
Okay.
Because I think it was they listed them both at 40, but then it was like,
Huh.
well, no, that's not. I think they're 35 a piece. They're
Okay.
35 a piece, but then if you bought both, then you got $10 off. That brought it down to 60. That's how it was, and I think they realized that was confusing people. So now, if you look at it on the eShop, you can buy either one separately, but there is a 2-pack with them both for $60. And it just seems like that. If you're gonna do it, I just don't know why they just didn't do it like that in the first place.
Nintendo just can't be competent. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
I mean, they came around to it before it released, so obviously, like it crossed someone's mind. But it was just kind of like a weird, just like that just seems like it would have made more sense just to have it like out there like that in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I would say like if you like visual novels, go check it out. And like I said, it is what it is. And visual novels only as good as its story. And at least for the first one, like I said, I was like super engrossed into it. Like I guess too in terms of like story stuff, I really didn't talk about like what it is, but just kind of like just to preface it with like how any like spoilery stuff. Like you're a detective, and you're like sent off to this small village to investigate this heiress's death, and you think that there might have been a murder, and you're just like in this small Japanese village, and there's all these like legends and about like the family and different kind of like it's kind of like small town kind of shit. Uh, everyone knows each other and everyone's in everyone's business kind of thing. But this is like a big like wealthy Japanese family, and they own this big business, and it's really interesting. So I really enjoyed it, and I thought it came together really nicely. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the only other thing I played was I played some of Jackbox Party Pack 7. So I picked up 7. I think it was on sale like a couple weeks ago. I finally had a chance to play it. I did 2 of the games. I know you love Jackbox Party Pack 7, Brandon.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, the 2 games that we played went over like a bomb. Like
which ones did you play?
They're total duds with the people that I played. Let me look and see because I don't remember the names off the top of my head. It wasn't because Quiplash 3, I think, is in this one, and we didn't try that. We said, look, we've already tried Quiplash before. I know we like it. I'm like, let's see what the other games are on here. See, maybe there's like something new that we would like. So we tried Talking Points.
Yeah, no.
And we tried Blather Round.
Okay, so you tried the 2 worst games in the entire box. Good job. Great job. So my favorite in this collection is Champed Up, which was so much fun. It's where you essentially are having a like Street Fighter style battle between each other, but you're drawing the characters, but you get like given a topic, and then like that topic, you draw the character for the topic, and then all those characters that are drawn from the topic that was given out get all put together, and then it's like, who is the master of sadness? And like, for instance, if someone like drew themselves, like someone might get their character is like, here we go. This player that we're playing with that drew themselves as a stick figure is the master of sadness. And then like versus, and it's just like a frowny face or some shit. Like, so like, it's.
I thought you were the master of sadness, Brandon.
I am the master of sadness. Oh. That's why I would have won. So like my verses would have been against actual frowny face emoji, and I still would have beat them. So like yeah, something like that. Like master of, I don't know what it was. No, that's the one I won. Poor decisions, and someone drew me, and I won. So like yeah, Champed Up is so much fun. And then another one. This one's a lot more like hands-on more so than like other games are, and I think out of any of the Jackbox games is called The Devil and the Details. Yeah, that one's a lot of fun because essentially you are a family of devils who are working towards a goal, but you're doing like mini games that are styled like WarioWare Inc. games more or less. But also at some point, since each individual person has their own sub goals that makes them a better devil that they can try to do as well, you could be sabotaging the family as well. And if you don't get caught by any of the other players, then you get more devil points. And it's like whoever's the best devil while working together and still trying to complete the main goal and fucking over each other at the same time. Is the winner, and it's great. It's a lot of fun, but that one's just got a lot to it.
Okay, I mean, next time we ever get together, maybe we'll have to try those out.
Champed Up is like one we played for hours on end because like a lot of the people we were playing with were really good artists, so they would just draw like incredibly detailed things, and then some people would be like, I drew a banana on a skateboard. It's just like it's like weird shit like that. It's great.
Banana's sick.
Like I actually enjoyed Talking Points. I actually think Talking Points could have been fun with like the right group of people. You know me, I could talk about fucking nothing.
Yeah.
I could just sit here, like people putting random pictures on the screen, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. And like, I don't remember what my like prompt was. It was something funny that was just like people like me just because I'm awesome or some fucking thing. And
Mhm.
I was like, whatever. And I'm like, I can just talk about that and just I don't know. It was just kind of like podcasting, just in person, just like you're just talking about whatever fucking comes up, and you just keep going and
Yeah.
whatever. But the thing is, though, the people I was playing with were so sick of me winning everything. They like none of them. They like all booed me into oblivion, and I had like no chance. I got some trophies. Like they're all like, "We were awesome, Mike. You did really good," but like we weren't going to give you any credit because we don't want you to win. So I was like, that's the thing that kind of sucks about that kind of game. Whatever. And I got some trophies. I got myself back up to like third or fourth place.
Blather around is just bad. Like it's not
It
that
was
good.
like it was weird. Like I got good. Like I was able to get people to solve mine,
hmm
but like it's hard, and like it doesn't really.
Yeah, I solved it in once, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
We had someone like someone got one that was the thing was armadillo, and they like
Uh-huh.
somehow were able to get the words that were like it was something like shielded beast or something.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was, but the answer was Baby Yoda, and I answered Baby Yoda in the first like thing. Like it was just like one sentence is kind of like, and then I was like Baby Yoda, and then I got it, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck, Brandon?"
I mean that's how it was with ours too. They're like, how the fuck would you know it from shielded animal? And they were like how many animals do you know with like a hard shell like that? Like it's just like it's just the armadillo.
But it was so like it had nothing to do with Baby Yoda, and I just guessed it randomly as a joke, and I got it instantly. But then I was like, oh, that worked anyway.
So just to explain like how this game works for like people that are like, listening, it just kind of gives you like limited words to explain things, like very limited, and it's just like you have to try to get people to guess what you're like talking about. Well, not talking about, just like what you're trying to type with these limited words. Like mine is like Florida, and what did I put? I was like, it's a crazy place or something. And like a lot of people didn't even get it from that because they're like, "Why is Florida a crazy place?" I'm like, "Don't you read the news?" Like,
Yeah, Florida exists. That's why it's a crazy place, boys.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I'll have to try out the other games. We have a chance.
Yeah, I really like Champed Up. Champed Up is the one we played like the absolute most. We always played it.
And I'm still waiting for Jackbox. The only one of the Jackboxes I don't have currently that's out is 5, and for some reason that one never goes on sale. Never, ever, ever, ever. And I don't know why. At least
Isn't that like one of the worst?
I don't know. I think it's because it has the you don't
wait,
know.
no. Oh, that has one of my favorite games actually. Oh fuck, dude. Never mind. This has one of my favorite games. It's called Split the Room. Split the Room's so much fun.
Oh, I remember you talking about that. That's like where you do like the opinions or whatever.
Yeah. And you try to like, and this also has the rapping one, which I did. I did a freestyle rap in this game. No, this one's good. This one's actually really good. This is probably like my second favorite Jackbox game, actually.
Well, and like
I think it's 4 that's the bad one. I don't remember. It's like one of the lower numbers. It's not
4
that
is
good.
one of my least gone to ones. Yeah, no, it's definitely 4. I'm pretty sure. I think 4 is like Quiplash, like maybe it's a I think it's Fibbage. I think it's like the new Fibbage in it or whatever. There's one game that's like good, but like the rest of them are just kind of shit. But the game that everyone wants to always go back to is the Murder Trivia Party. They love Murder Trivia Party.
That one's fun.
That is a good one.
Yeah, so I do really like that, and I want 5 though because I really want to play You Don't Know Jack like 5-player, or well, not 5-player because it can do 8 players. We're usually a group of like 6 or 7, so it seems like it's a good time. But we'll see if it comes out. So it comes down. And then the last thing I want to talk about was Joy-Con fun. So there's apparently another like semi-common problem with Joy-Cons.
Okay.
And I just noticed it the other day, and it doesn't affect me, except knowing that it's there. Okay. And I just didn't know if you guys had known this yet, because I had not. And I Googled it, and then like all these responses came up, and I'm like, oh, this is a lot more common than I expected it to be. So, and this is actually while we were playing Jackbox Party Pack. So I hooked up my Switch to the TV, and I pulled off the Joy-Cons and sat down with them, and I was like looking at my right Joy-Con, which otherwise had no issues that I had known of, and I'm like, the light's not on. And I'm like, that's weird. It's working, but the light's not on. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like
Yeah.
on the side of the Joy-Cons, there's lights that tell you like which player it's activated to.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's weird. But it worked, so I'm like, I don't know, maybe something's wrong with the LED or something. So I Googled it when I got home. And apparently that just means there's a faulty cord on the inside of it. And what
Wait, the light's supposed to come on?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the home button thing?
No.
So if you have your Joy-Cons detached
Uh-huh.
separately, and if you're playing like single player, you look at the top and it's got like the LED buttons.
Oh, the green ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one on each set.
Uh-huh.
So the one on my right set for this set of Joy-Cons just doesn't light up.
Oh.
And apparently it means there's a faulty cord in there, which is just like, if it was just the LED button, it's like, okay, no big deal. But apparently it also has to do with the L and R button when it's in single Joy-Con mode, like on the sides, like on the top. Those don't work. And even more importantly, the sync button doesn't work on it, apparently. So I'm like, well, that's kind of stupid. I'm like, when it's connected to the system, it doesn't matter because you don't use any of those buttons ever. But it's like if I ever wanted to resync it up to anything, I can't. Like it's
I just checked mine. Mine are good.
Yeah. It was just the most random thing. I had not seen it before, and I imagine most people wouldn't because
Yeah.
it's attached to your system. Like it's not like I ever take them off. So
That's the first time I've heard about that issue. However, my friends have an issue where their Joy-Cons just simply don't lock into the Switch anymore, so they fall. It just falls out.
like falls out the bottom.
Like doesn't lock to the slide, and just like if you like were to turn the Switch upside down, it just right out.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
That's really gross.
Which like don't turn your Switch upside down, but if you're holding the Switch by the Joy-Cons and the whole screen just woo.
I'm just impressed with how shitty the design is for these.
Yeah,
Joy-Cons.
me too. It's impressive that it took so long for people to realize just how bad the Switch is built, but it was also just long enough that no one could get a refund.
I'll still take the Switch over the Wii U any day.
It's fair, but at least the Wii U didn't
it's
like break all
actual
the
like
time.
that's what I was gonna say. I'd take the actual gameplay over the Wii U, but I would actually rather have a way more sturdy Switch, because like it's not sturdy. It's not well built. It's kind of trash.
I
have
think that's most shocking to me is that they haven't gone back through and like just retweak the designs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like
They don't admit issues.
I have 3 Switches in my house. Of those 3 Switches, there are 3 sets of Joy-Cons. Every single one of them have fucking drift. And they've all been bought at different times. Mine, bought when it first came out. Katie's, bought about 2 years ago. My brother's, bought a year after that. And every single one of them have had Joy-Con drift.
sucks, man. It does.
It's fucking garbo.
That's not like the Joy-Cons are cheap either.
No, they're not. They're
cheaply
stupid.
made, but
yeah, they are cheaply made. My brother actually ended up, because he was fed up with that shit, he bought the attachable controllers that look like you cut a Xbox controller down the middle. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen those Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
They're made by
oh
Hori.
yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
They're actually super sturdy, and he just uses those all the time now. No issues with them whatsoever.
That's not bad. I guess with like the particular issue that I just found, they're like it's super easy to fix if you want to open up your like Switch controller, but the other thing I can think about is Nick opening up his and like the button launching across the room, and I'm just
I broke my Joy-Con like 3 times.
I'm like, no, thank you.
They are not fun to work on. I would recommend against opening up a Joy-Con at all costs.
Like I said, after your story, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I don't want to open them up either.
I will say
here.
though, that
I'll do the
LED
general
strip,
chat.
that LED strip is like one of the first things you take out when you take it apart. So like, not that bad.
And so in this particular case, all they have to do is like, they said it's just like the cable is like, you know how when you have like cords or whatever, and it's just like they just have to be at the right angle and they start working again. They say that's all it is. Like you just need to readjust the cable because it's like in a position where it just doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, that's fine, but it still involves opening it up. And I'm like, that's just
It does, yeah.
I'd like it almost just sounds like if I was that upset about it. Oh, those do look nice, Brandon.
Yeah, and like they're cheaper and they're more sturdy.
Is there any like cons to them though?
Yeah, there's 2.
Yeah, those two, they're called shotguns. Let's see. It doesn't include the big things like NFC, IR camera, HD rumble, and the motion controls.
Okay.
But if you just want to have normal rumble and fucking play your games and have them actually work correctly, then I don't fucking see why any of that stuff even matters. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. There's sometimes where like the HD rumble goes off and it's like it's very just weird. It's like I just don't understand. Like it's like you can calm down a little bit. Like I get that you're trying to be dramatic, but I don't need to be like living in an earthquake. Like it's fine. You're handheld to calm yourself down. You're loud, and it's louder than it actually shakes. I think that's the thing. It's just more like it's like I can't hear the game because you're rumbling too much. Like calm down.
I kind of wish I could find this one, which apparently they did a Pikachu themed one.
Oh, that's kind of sexy.
Yeah, I kind of like it a lot.
Ooh, wait a minute. I kind of want that.
It's $45 on sale, but there's none nearby me right now. It's from the same company and everything. They just did a Pikachu
Yeah, just
version of it.
different theme for it. Yeah, that's nice. And Hori does usually make really good stuff, at least in my experience. I don't know if it's still the case.
I found a
but-
Pikachu and Eevee version also.
$60 on Amazon right now.
Yeah, the Pikachu and Eevee one's $60, and that one's so cute. I love the black and white Pikachu and Eevee. Oh my god, it's adorable.
I like the Pikachu design.
No, I think the original Pikachu's way more like it just fits the theme of the Switch, but I really think if that was a controller, like a wireless controller or like a pro
So do
controller.
they snap together just as like a wireless controller, like if you have them off the system too?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I would have to test it, which I guess now is the best time to do so, since I could just go right in the room and
They
take all
also
this shit.
have a Monster Hunter Rise version as well as a Pac-Man version.
Ooh, a Pac-Man version?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'll share that in the chat right now. This one's on sale for $50, the Pac-Man.
Yo, let's go!
Ooh, I like the Pac-Man.
Right? The Pac-Man's clean.
Yeah, Pac-Man is really nice.
Yo, that Pac-Man one's awesome. I like that. That's nice. There's a turbo button on it. What?
Yes, sir.
Wait, does Hori sell different Joy-Cons?
Yeah, they make a left Joy-Con.
With a D-pad, huh?
Yeah.
Like, is it good?
No.
Aw, really?
Yeah, that's not good.
That sucks.
Well, now you know.
Have you tried it, Nick? As though you're saying, nah, it's not good.
It's not good. It's not good. I promise you.
Anyways, that's all I got.
Okay.
So I don't know who wants to go next.
I can just go ahead and do my stuff real quick, because I only got one thing to talk about.
Did
All
you
right,
finish it?
so I've beaten Resident Evil 8 3 times.
Jesus
I
Christ,
last-
Brandon!
All of them are on stream, every single one of them. So I have about I don't know, like 10 hours of footage of me playing it on stream. I also was taught how to speedrun Resident Evil 8, and during that stream, I got affiliate on Twitch, which
Congrats.
means people can subscribe to me now if you want to.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm gonna work on that grind real quick, because yeah, that's a thing. So I'll oh god, my brain just stopped. Hold on a second. I'll plug that at the end of the show. But yeah, so Resident Evil 8 just in general, I've now finished it 3 times. I've finished it once normally. I've finished it one time just to like unlock the special stuff, and then I've done a speed run of it as well. And in the speed run, I finished it in 2 hours and 43 minutes. So I brought the time played down from about 10 hours to 2 hours and 43 minutes. So that's a thing that can be done. Oh, by the way, that 2 hours and 43 minutes, that was me beating the entire game with only a knife. So let's put that into perspective as well.
Okay.
No guns, no bullets, just knife. So that's a thing that can be done. Granted, I did do that on the casual mode because that's the way you're supposed to do it. But I had a blast playing through each and every single time. The game still runs like ass on PC, and I mean that's just how it's probably going to be till the end of time. So that sucks. So I don't recommend playing it on PC. I also don't recommend playing it on PC if you're going to speedrun it, because there's actually load times that don't exist on the PS5 or Xbox Series X version, which means no matter what, I am at a disadvantage even though I have the better hardware than the people I'm speedrunning against. Yay! But just in general, this game has been a blast and a lot of fun to play through. Probably the
That's
most
good.
fun I've had with a Resident Evil since Resident Evil 4 or 5. And I know a lot of people give 5 shit because, oh, it's not scary, rah, rah, rah. But I really enjoyed playing the co-op aspect of it because I had someone to play through the entire game with me. And we used to also speedrun Resident Evil 5. And probably in the future we'll do it again on stream. But, so there's that. But yeah,
I mean, I
just in
think
general.
5's safe now that 6 exists, because everyone hates 6 more, I think.
6 is garbage.
I had okay fun with it because I played through the entire game co-op,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's something I would do.
Well, the problem with 6 is it is literally just a Michael Bay film.
Yeah.
and
I did like that part at the end where you get like superpowers on like one of the things. That was kind of cool.
6 is just a fucking mess. But yeah, Resident Evil 5 is probably one of my favorite games because we just ran through it so often, me and GP. But Resident Evil 8, playing through it 3 times now, I have to say it's a really good game. Like in general, I would recommend this game. I would not recommend you buying it on PC, but I would recommend playing this game because it is a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable. It's not really that scary at all. So like if you're not okay with horror things, then like you could probably still play this. Like if you were fine playing Resident Evil 4, then you'll totally be fine with this because it's basically Resident Evil 4 in first person. And like even the speedrunning aspect of it, it was not difficult to run through the entire game with a knife in 2 hours and 43 minutes at all. So like, yeah, just in general, very enjoyable, a lot of fun to play, and the most fun I've had in a Resident Evil game since 4.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm working on Mercenaries right now, which is a mode that unlocks after you've beaten the game. And Mercenaries mode is where there are predetermined spawns of enemies, but you have to keep a combo going. And the way you keep that combo going is by continuously killing enemies and not letting your combo meter run out. And if I'm able to double S rank all the levels, which I think I have 2 left to do, then I unlock a replacement for my knife, and it's a lightsaber.
Okay.
So I'm
Fancy.
trying my best to do that right now. And yeah, just in general, play RE8 because it's really fucking fun, and I quite enjoy it. Since we talked last, I currently reside. How many hours do I have in this game? Let's see. I have 34.9 hours in this game. That's a lot of time, considering
lot of
time.
my first playthrough was my first playthrough on stream was 10 hours, but my first playthrough recorded like officially with the in-game save system said 7 hours and 43 minutes or some shit like that, 48 minutes, something like that. So that's like an 8-hour game that I have stretched to 34 hours. So yeah.
Damn. I mean, I can't. It doesn't surprise me you blow Brandon.
Yeah, but I really like the Resident Evil games. Like I get kind of sucked into them pretty hard when a good one comes out that's worth playing. So, I think I have like a shit ton of hours on Revelations that was on the 3DS. I think I got like 200 hours or something in that game, and that was the 3DS version.
You mean Revelations?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Revelations. Yeah, that's the one.
I did like Actually, I liked both Revelations. To be honest, I thought they were really good.
2 kind of threw me off because it went with the episodic route, and I felt like it really killed the tension in between having to wait weeks and months for a new episode to come out. But Revelations 1 on the 3DS, and then the Switch version and PC version and everything was just so much fun. And the raid mode they had on there in multiplayer was so much fucking fun.
Supposedly, the Switch is getting Revelations 3.
Revelations 3 doesn't exist yet, so
Well,
I'm excited to see
that's
when
been
this
the
comes
rumor
out.
for a while. Supposedly,
Uh-huh.
the Switch is getting its own Resident Evil, and that
hell
was the
yeah.
rumor with the Capcom leak, if I remember. But
Ooh, I
we'll
hope
see.
I hope so. I'm really excited if so, because yeah, I really like Revelations, and I
Nothing I
really
like-
liked 5, and I really liked 8.
I still never
7's
finished
okay.
7. Yeah.
Yeah, no. My problem with 7 was that it was very, 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 very kind of one and done-ish. It didn't feel like a game that could be continuously played and like find new secrets and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the like how claustrophobic it was just being in that one area. Like even with Resident Evil 1, which took place in one mansion, that mansion was huge.
Yeah.
And it felt like much smaller bite-sized chunks for the Baker house, as opposed to like the original Resident Evil mansion. It just didn't work. It felt more like, okay, this is a linear one and done kind of deal. It was a good game, and it was a really good horror game, but it just wasn't fun to play through multiple times. So yeah, I didn't.
Hey, fair. Nothing wrong with that.
Meanwhile, this one I've gone through 3, probably going to be 4 or 5 before I talk to you next.
Yeah, no. Next week you'll be like, oh guys, I beat it 20 times.
Listen, maybe.
That's good. I'll probably get around to playing it sometime, eventually.
I'd say grab it when it has a sale. It's worth your time. Like, when it's like $20, $25 or something like that. Because like I said, you can finish the game if you're even remotely competent in probably like 7 or 8 hours for your first run through.
Yeah, I think that's a good amount of time to get through a game too. Like I feel like that's how would I put it? Like if you're looking for like a new game that's not going to take up too much time, like that's a nice chunk of a game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like it's not so short that you're done with it too fast, and it's not like a fucking RPG where you have to commit like hundreds of hours to it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just have to be, it's just like anything else. You just like with foods, like you have to be in like the mood for the right type of game. You can't pick up Resident Evil when you're not in a horror mood. Like it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Resident Evil 8's a horror game, so I think you can play it at any point in time.
Or just any time, like, or even like an action game. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I understand.
Like it's just like it's like pickles. Do you want pickles? Well, I don't know.
I always want pickles.
Right
no, I always want pickles.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I always want pickles. It's a bad analogy.
What are the sweet pickles? Fuck those pickles. Nobody likes those.
I'll eat those.
Yeah, hand
always,
them over.
Always. Come on. Put them in me. I'm good. Let's go.
You both like sweet pickles?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, nasty. Those are just
the guy.
That's like reaching for a grape and realizing it's an olive. That's what sweet
bread and butter
are.
Pickles.
Oh, hell
pickles.
yeah.
Bread and butter pickles are not sweet pickles.
I was listing off all the pickles that I would just shove in my gullet.
If you go with me to a diner, I am that guy like, yo, you eating that pickle spear, bro? Right in your ear.
Oh, I like that too, because those are delicious dill pickles, and I only eat dill pickles all day long, bro. But
spicy,
sweet pickles,
give them to me.
I'll eat them all. I'll eat them. I don't even like spicy food, but if it's a pickle, I don't know, man. We might be talking.
We might be onto something here.
Fuck.
Nasty pickles.
Both me and Nick are just like, man, I fucking love pickles.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah. Drunk cucumbers, love them.
Drunk cucumbers.
That's the title of the fucking episode right there.
Love them, give them. I'll take them from you.
Yeah. There's always like the whenever you're like with someone, they're like, I hate pickles, and you're like, oh fuck yeah. But right now, Katie's like, you want your pickles? And I'm like, yes, I do. Yeah. Like I want mine too. And I was like, okay, all right, we've reached a mutual understanding.
I mean, there's certain things like, if you were going to force me to eat certain foods, like I would probably tolerate sweet pickles. Like there are things that I like way less than sweet pickles. Like mushrooms, I hate them.
Yeah, fuck mushrooms.
Fuck mushrooms.
What about pineapples? I love pineapples.
I like pineapple. I do like pineapples. Yeah.
I think anyone that's like, yo, pineapple pizza is garbage is just like.
Okay, no, we did not say on pizza, Brandon.
They're just stupid. They're just stupid. Anyone that says that's just stupid.
Fruit don't belong on pizza. Get that.
No.
This was a trap. That was a trap.
No.
You guys like pineapples?
Here we go.
Now we love it on pizzas, boy.
No.
Bro, how could you not eat a Hawaiian pizza? How the fuck?
No.
Could you not eat a Hawaiian pizza?
That is a trap because you're like, Who likes pineapples? Oh, yeah, I love them. Put that bitch on pizza. No.
Yeah, no, I do love it on pizza. I do think anyone that's like, oh, pineapples on pizza is bad is just saying it just to be fucking trendy.
No.
I
No,
guarantee you.
No.
I guarantee you, if you ate
No.
a fucking Hawaiian pizza, you'd be like,
Gag.
this shit's
I
pretty
have
fucking
eaten
good.
it. It's
Gag.
nasty.
You're so full of shit. You're so
Gagging.
full of shit. You're so full of
Gagging.
shit.
No.
You're so absolutely full of shit.
No.
You know what I'm not full of? Gross ass Hawaiian pizza.
You guys are
Exactly.
fucking. You guys have no fucking. Get the fuck out of here.
No.
I bet Hawaii doesn't even like own that
No.
pizza.
I don't give a fuck if they do. It's good.
Just shit after.
Not good.
I'm sorry that you
Not a
have
good pizza.
no taste.
Not a good pizza. Put pickles
It
on it.
is.
Maybe we'll talk. I don't like
Well-
pineapple.
Yeah, you know what? Sub out the pineapple for pickles, and that'd
yeah.
probably be an okay
What
pizza.
the
Okay.
fuck? Why? Okay, why?
Hot
Why?
fruit is
What?
gross.
Well, no, because pies are delicious.
No, don't like them.
Nothing?
Oh,
I don't
Oh.
like hot apple pie. I'll
Oh.
eat cold apple pie. Hot apple pie? No, get away from
Oh,
me.
no, I was saying just like pies in general. But
No. Any hot fruit, get away from me.
what the fuck?
Get away from me.
I'm trying to think, because I like pies are delicious. I love apple crisp.
What is-
Love apple crisp.
You know what? Okay, all right.
I mean,
like it.
technically though, Nick, tomatoes are
Don't.
fruit.
No.
Yep. Mhm,
No.
Tomatoes are fruit. Nick.
No. It's not the same. Not the same.
He's not wrong, you know, and you
It's
heat
not-
that
but
up.
It's not. It's not the same. It's not the
It-
same.
It absolutely is.
I don't. No. Not really.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
No, because I don't eat. I don't get a whole tomato hot and eat that bitch.
You don't eat pizza with tomato sauce.
Tomato
Fuck
sauce
right
is
off.
not. That's different. That's different.
No,
That
it's just
is-
Not
tomatoes.
tomato anymore.
It's tomato.
Okay.
That's like saying
Uh.
hot apples are not apples anymore.
Pineapples were never apples to begin with. Let's get that fucking.
Well,
Let's
no,
get
I
that
just mean
clear.
apples. Just apples.
No,
Apples in general.
Not the same.
I don't think
That's
there's
like-
any good reason to
that's
have
like
hot
saying-
pineapples.
Apple sauce and apple juice is the same. It's not.
No, it absolutely isn't.
It's not. So having like just a hot piece of tomato,
Does that mean you don't like applesauce?
I don't eat it.
I don't
no.
like applesauce.
I don't eat.
No, I don't
eat
hate it,
I don't
though.
like applesauce either.
I
I'm
have
down
nothing
with not
against
liking
it.
applesauce.
But I just don't. I don't eat it. But no. Don't try and tell me a hot piece of tomato is the same as sauce. It's not.
That is literally what it is.
It's not. No.
I mean, yeah, technically, by like a literal
here's the
technicality,
problem. Here's
It's
the
just
problem.
mashed up
Here's the
potato
problem.
or tomatoes.
it's
and spices.
factually
Here's the
actually just a
problem.
hot tomato.
I am Italian, and neither of you are. So I am the one.
I'm Italian. Look at my fucking last name, bitch.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Baba the boopy?
Huh?
No.
Baba the boopy?
No.
Okay. But if
No,
I spoke
okay.
to you in your language, you would
gotta
understand where I'm coming from.
You gotta speak to him in like New Jersey Italian. That's the
Yeah,
difference. You gotta be like,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you
but
get the,
yeah, but
you
you
get the
cook,
pineapple on the pizza, you
Hey,
get the
I'm
wine,
fucking-
good.
Terrible.
What the fuck have we devolved into?
I don't know.
Can I talk about my games?
Yeah, sure.
fine.
Hell yeah. I started the Mass Effect remaster trilogy.
Okay.
How much are you not going to finish them?
Well, I already have to restart my save. Actually.
What?
Why?
Well, because I didn't realize this. If you just go with pre-made Shepherd, you don't get to pick from different like backstories, I guess they're called, or classes. Because a friend of mine who was like excited about me playing this was like, "Oh, hey, what class did you go with?" And I was like, "What are you fucking talking about? What class did I go with?" I had no idea what she was talking about. And apparently, you can pick from like soldier, and like some other shit.
Mhm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
I
If
picked
you
up
just
one
pick,
now.
if you just pick the pre-made Shepherd, it's just it defaults you into soldier.
I see. Okay. I think I remember that happening in the Xbox
Yeah.
version also.
So like I didn't know that was a thing. So I want to restart, or at least look through those other ones before I restart and see if I even give a shit enough to do so.
Mhm.
But that's a thing. Also realized that I really need to play this game with a controller and not keyboard.
Oh, do you have it on PC?
I did buy. Well, I didn't buy it.
Oh.
I got it because I have EA Play Pro, so I got it for free through that.
Do you know why it's Why it feels awkward on PC?
Because it's a keyboard.
No, it's not why it feels awkward on PC. You ready for this?
Huh?
The mouse movement in the game uh it has mouse smoothing on by default and cannot be turned off in the PC version.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna switch to a controller.
That's the reason why when like you move your mouse, it feels like it's just depending on the size of monitor you have, it'll feel like it takes ages to
57, yeah.
travel from one thing to the other.
It does. Honestly, now that you bring that up, it does. So that's why I want to switch to controller, because it feels like shit. But otherwise, I am enjoying it. I have to remind myself that it's a game from 2007, so like the facial animations are gonna be shit, and
Yep.
like other stuff like that. Like Shepard's face is like super derpy. The environments themselves are very nice. The lighting's very nice, and like that part of it's cool. Not a lot in the options section to change around for like computer settings. So like if you're expecting to get like, higher refresh or whatever, you're not getting really any of that. But yeah, it's rough on mouse and keyboard, so would not recommend. And yeah, so I finished like the first hour or so of the first game. And I need to dig out an Xbox controller. Or I actually have a wired Duke around here somewhere. To play it with, because it's just mouse and keyboard aimed it. But no, it's cool so far. I didn't realize how much more first person shootery this game was as compared to like, I don't know. I for some reason I thought it delved deeper into more serious RPG type shit.
It does. You're just not playing the right class.
Well, and I don't know how much they changed the remasters, if they changed anything. The first game was pretty much very RPG.
Very, very RPG. Yeah.
It strays a lot away from that as the game goes on. Like as the games go on, rather. Like 2 and 3 are much more shootery / RPG.
3 is basically just a third-person shooter by the time you get there.
Because this basically just feels like a third-person shooter with small RPG elements to me.
I think it's because you're playing Soldier, to be completely honest.
I don't know. I mean,
I played Soldier though when I played it, and I don't remember. I remember the first game feeling very RPG.
Like you have the stats you can spec into, and you have like a party per se, but like to me, it just doesn't feel like RPG-ish. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
So if I remember correctly, in this game, if you didn't actually spec yourself correctly, even if your gun like reticule is right on them, you're not gonna hit because you don't have the skills to do so.
Yeah,
and I was watching a friend play the game recently, and he was having that same issue. He's like, "Why aren't the shots hitting?" And I was like, because this."
Oh yeah, no. So
because you're
So I think if you're a soldier, you just automatically have those skills more or less.
Maybe.
Who did you save?
He picked soldier because he went with pre-canned.
I said, who did he save?
Oh.
Who did I save?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Okay, he hasn't gotten there yet.
How did you leave it alone? It's the first hour.
No.
Okay, we'll see. It's not crazy, Brandon, right? Like that's super close to the beginning.
I did the thing where I went up to like the pillar, activated it, saw a vision. That was the last thing I did.
Like Brandon, he should have gotten to that, right? Like that was like super early in the game.
I think that might be a little bit after what he's doing now.
Well, I'm not saying is that not after where it is, but I'm like feeling that was like really fast to get to.
I think Nick might be exploring.
Could be.
I mean, I am
Nick
exploring
seems like
a
an
lot.
exploring type.
Yeah, I've been going to like every building, like looking for shit.
Okay, there you go. Fair.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. All
right. So he's never gonna finish it. Got it.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna take my time.
It's an incredibly long game.
The first game, like long. The first game's so RPG that I definitely like. Because you guys know how I get with them. Like I enjoy them at first, and then like the closer I get to the end, the faster I want to get the fuck done with it. And that's how I felt with the first game. I didn't have the issue as much with the second and third game because it was not as much of that. But
how you doing?
You consider 30 hours hella long?
No, but also if you're exploring in a lot of different places, it's not going to be 30 hours. It's going to be way longer for you.
Yeah, you can ratchet up tons of hours. Like this
game, like I'm on how long to beat, and it says completionist 44 hours. This game is not hella long. I played much longer than this.
I'm pretty sure you could go into like the 60-hour range with this game.
Maybe, but again, I've
That
played.
might be that might be two, I'm thinking. But I could have sworn the first game could take a long time.
Nah, you can beat the main story in under 20 hours
Well,
if I
I'm
rock
aware
it
of that,
straight
but if
through.
you're like exploring a shit ton of stuff, yeah.
Well, 'cause you had the main story. The first game, I know, because when I played it, I had the trilogy, so I had like the DLC stuff for it too to play through.
Hmm.
I don't remember what there was for the first game. I know there's like the moon missions or something. I don't know. And that fucking Mako just can burn in hell.
Oh, the controls. I've heard many bad things about the controls.
It's the worst thing to drive in the world.
Yeah,
Pretty sure they fixed it for the
yeah, they did.
thing.
They did change the controls for this. So,
Good.
yep, that's where I'm at so far with that. But I played something else I completely forgot about, and I remembered it when you guys were talking about your stuff. So we're gonna talk about that now. It's this game called Gartic Phone.
Oh,
I thought you misspelled garlic. I was like,
Well,
what's
me and my friends call it Garlic Phone because of how dangerously close it is to that word. But it's a free online game that kind of plays in the same way as your Jackbox type games.
okay?
But it's one game, and basically what it is the game starts out where it has you write like a prompt for like a story. So let's say we're playing it, right, and Brandon wants to write a prompt, and he's like, Mike went to the store. Okay, cool, that's your prompt. Then those prompts get jumbled around and sent to the other people in the game, and you have to draw what that prompt is. So, like, let's say I draw Mike going to the store. All right, cool. Now those pictures get jumbled around and then get sent out again. So now, Mike, all you see is my picture, and you have to try and guess what the fuck it is that I drew.
I saw V Shoujo play this
So basically, it's like
recently.
Whisper Down the Lane, but with like drawings.
What if the
So like,
Jackbox games did something really similar to this too?
So basically, what you'll end up getting sometimes is what me and my friends were getting. Like you'd have one prompt that started one way, and then like by the end of the rounds, it was something completely different. Like I had one. The prompt was SpongeBob on the Autobahn. I was like, that's kind of weird. So I drew SpongeBob like driving a car and like coming on a turn like really really fast.
Hmm.
And then like that turned into SpongeBob disrespecting speed. The person drew SpongeBob giving the middle finger to a stop sign. And then the next prompt from that is my friend went to go write SpongeBob finally what the fuck was it? Do we have it as like cuz you can download the things as GIFs.
Hmm.
But like whatever the prompt was, I think it was like SpongeBob finally something. It just said SpongeBob final because he didn't get the chance to write the rest of the prompt. So the person after him drew SpongeBob with a gun to his head, just saying goodbye.
Why does this sound amazing?
So basically, like you can just get some really goofy shit, and it's a lot of fun, and it's free. So like, I'm always for free fun games like this. Let me scroll up a little bit to see if I see any because like they'll play while I'm asleep for work. And it's hilarious because like I'll wake up to just some stupid shit in the morning. Let's see. We scroll up here. We post a lot of bullshit. Like a lot of bullshit. Unless maybe the gifts got deleted because I know we definitely played after this kind of shit. Maybe they got deleted. I don't know. But yeah, no, super fun. Actually, I'll share the link with you guys in this chat. So if you want to play it with your friends, you can play it with your friends. But very. Very fun. I like it.
That's good.
So, those are the things I played this week.
You guys ready to do news then?
Yeah, what do we got for news? I don't read.
I got two things of news in there because I put them there.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys saw anything else, but the two things are number one, new Time Splitters is in the works.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, what's more exciting about that to me is the fact that they got Free Radical Studios back together with the original people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yes. Please re-release the original trilogy as a collection and then make a fourth one.
Yeah. That would be great.
They got the people who made the original games together to do this one too. So it's like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah, no, please at bare minimum I need a trilogy re-release. And then we go from there.
I honestly really want to buy the second. Oh God, what is
Homefront.
it? Yeah, Homefront.
Yeah, to play the the completely hacked version. I
It's
mean,
not even hacked. There's a full
yeah.
release of it on there. It's just
I
you gotta
mean,
put in the
that game's
cheat
already
code.
done. They gotta clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4K
Easy
already.
peasy.
Let's do the first and the third now.
Yeah, the game went from having really poor reviews on Steam to going mixed, and a lot of the upvotes are just it
It
has
has
time splitters too.
yeah.
This is pretty much just a $20 PC port of Time Splitters 2.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all it
And
is.
there's literally a guide for the PC version that says download this and it extracts Time Splitters 2, and you don't have to play the shitty game that it's attached to.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
fancy. So yeah, there's that. They haven't announced anything other than that yet. Just that it exists.
That exists. There's no game in development at this moment, and
There
it
might
just-
be, though,
it's
in the
happening.
future. Very
Well, yeah.
soon.
But I think they just wanted to wet people's palates because, like, obviously, all that shit happened, I guess, with Homefront, and they're not blind to that. So they were like, "Hey, this is fresh in people's minds still. Let's go."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good time to do it. And then the other news. So Nintendo, actually, it was weird because I woke up to this. Usually I see this stuff like as it's breaking on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and I was like, just randomly clicked on the Switch news thing as I had like a second, and it was like, there's an amiibo there for Skyward Sword, and I was like, oh fuck yes! And so they're making a new Zelda amiibo for Skyward Sword. It's like Zelda with what are those birds called?
Offwing.
Yes.
Loft Wings.
Why do I know that?
I don't know. You don't like Zelda.
I don't.
It's fitting that you know, then.
maybe
specifically for this
like
game.
secretly loves Zelda and he just doesn't tell us.
Yes, I have like a Zelda room in my house that I sit and brood in. I'm like, nobody can know.
You have like a fucking a throne like Dio that you just sit, but it's surrounded by Zelda memorabilia instead.
He is cosplaying as Zelda while we're podcasting.
Oh my god.
We just hear a little ocarina play in the background.
What are we gonna produce this week? He's like, let me summon the Triforce of Wisdom and see.
Why didn't he ever use that when playing 20 Questions?
It would be too easy.
Yeah, I didn't want to cheat. So they made this amiibo. I don't know. It's $25. I don't know if it's like bigger or something, but whatever. I got it pre-ordered, so fuck yeah. Because I saw the pre-orders went up at Best Buy yesterday, and I was on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so apparently they announced that it does come with its special ability in Skyward Sword is it lets you. Okay, backstory. So when you're playing Skyward Sword, you're exploring the ground, and then you live in the sky. And if you use the amiibo, it lets you go instantly from the ground to the sky without having to go to a warp point to do so. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then when you're in the sky and use it again, it lets you go right back to where you just came from. So kind of like, you know how like that wind spell worked in Ocarina of Time kind of thing? It lets you work back and forth. It kind of, I guess, the same idea. There. Okay. So people are bent out of shape about this.
I think that's kind of fair because it's literally I pay $25 to cheat.
I mean, I had my Cat Mario and I use that to cheat. I'm fine with that, whatever. But it's not like it's not like it diminishes the game. It's not like it's something you need to have, you know?
So I get you and I understand, but I'm gonna bring up something that I've been seeing a lot lately, and I've actually been getting into a lot lately, and that's speedrunning. This is literally pay me for the ability for you to speedrun the game.
I mean, maybe, but what they'll just do is they'll just make different categories.
Rules.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like it kind of sucks that that's not just something that you could unlock after finishing the game or whatever.
Well, that's the other
I'm
thing
not saying
too.
that,
They might ban that from even being used in the speedrun.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true too. And the other thing is, like, let's be like super honest. I guess like that aspect of it, Brandon. Like, I know people are like bent out of shape about it, but you know how easy it is to clone like amiibo. Like,
No, I get that. I absolutely get
Too.
that. I do get that. I just think it's kind of shitty that they're trying to use it as a way to sell the amiibo, like that lock out a feature of the game behind a tiny plastic toy. And it's a new feature too, because that wasn't in the original game.
No, it wasn't. I don't know. I'm curious. We'll see.
I'm
I guess
not bent out of shape. I'm not mad. I'm not fucking fuming or any of that shit. I'm just saying it's kind of a shitty thing to do. And I do understand where some people could be miffed about it. Now, I'm not saying, boycott Nintendo, fuck them, stupid bitches, or some stupid shit like that. I'm not saying anything like that. But I am saying that I do get it. I do get where people are coming from and why it would be a shitty thing to do.
But on the flip side, though, the people I've seen with the most banana shape about it are people who self-admittedly had not played the game before either, too.
Yeah, well, of course you're going to get those kind of people.
Be like, I'm not buying this game now because of this.
I've never played it before, but fuck you.
Like, I don't.
Yeah,
like,
I was boycotting it before the amiibo was announced.
Yeah.
Now they're all copying you. Now you're like, yeah, you're behind the chimes. Now you have to like reverse your stance.
He's a trendsetter, and
Yes, I am.
he's just like, fuck, what do I do now?
But I was gonna say though, I guess like I think my thing, what I was gonna say though, is like I don't remember like how useful this ability actually would be though. Because it's been a while since I played Skyward Sword. I don't know if you remember, like...
No.
Because I don't remember ever being like...
I don't like Skyward Sword, so...
Yeah, no, I love it, though. Like, it had some interesting, like... I like some of the design stuff from it.
When I had my own apartment, I played Skyward Sword, and it didn't go so well, because it was a rather cramped place.
That's why I no longer have my own apartment.
That's why I no longer have my own apartment. No, it's a rather cramped place, and using the Wii to do motion control for every little thing in the game actually made it quite difficult to do so, and as such, I couldn't find enjoyment in the game. Maybe I'll find enjoyment in the game with this new re-released version that I don't need to be swinging around a Wiimote to play or anything like that. But, you know, still, I didn't have it back then. I don't have that nostalgia. I don't even think I finished the game, so it's like, whatever.
Yeah, it was a weird. Like my biggest issues with this game were like the backtracking. Like those were like the things I had.
I also remember the stamina gauge to be garbage, like actually garbage. Like I know there's a stamina gauge in Breath of the Wild, but that was like a lot more fair at the beginning point of the game than this game's stamina gauge is throughout the entire fucking game.
Well, because in this game, it's like you have it and it's just there. Like it's not because in Breath of the Wild, it's kind of got that like RPG element to it. You can like upgrade it. If I remember, in Skyward Sword, it's just like it is what it is, or maybe there's some point in the game where upgrades, but I don't remember it ever being like a thing. It's there, and it just all it does is it stops you from running as much like everywhere like you would like to. So. I don't know. This is evidence though, because we talked about it. Like, it's evidence that they have tweaked some things in this game.
Yeah,
more than they've told us, because that's kind of what we like theorized back when they announced it. Because obviously they did the control stuff, so we're like, well, what else did they do? And so now we know that they have done more things, but it's just like, what else? Because the other thing is too, like, what do the other amiibo do? Like in the other games, the other Zelda amiibo do things too. We don't know what they do. Who knows? Maybe just fucking scanning any amiibo and it takes you up to the sky. Who knows? We don't know. They haven't said anything. All they told us is the Zelda amiibo exists. It's $25 and it lets you go from point A to point B. So I don't know. I'm excited because I was going to buy it anyway. I don't even care if it. Like, I love the amiibo. I don't care if they do special things or not. I just like having them.
No, I get that. I totally get that from a collector's point of view. Doesn't matter to you what they do. It's amiibo.
Exactly. Like those Monster Hunter amiibo or the ones for Rise. Look amazing. They don't have Monster Hunter Rise, so they don't do anything, but they're there. Speaking of just like kind of like side story news, but I was just like thinking to myself yesterday too. I was like, why have I not seen pre-orders for the Monster Hunter Stories 2 amiibo? Like, this is weird. The game comes out in 2 months. Like they announced the Zelda one. The pre-orders are up like the same day. And like they got the Monster Hunter ones. I'm like, whatever. So I Googled it fast, and apparently GameStop's just like, oh, we're not going to do pre-orders. They're just going to be in stores only. It's going to be limited quantities.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, what a fuck? I'm like, why does anyone give this company anything anymore? And I was texting my friend, and I asked him, and I was like, is this legit? And he's like, my friend who's a manager at GameStop, he's like, seems like it is from what I can see on my end of things. And I was like, ugh. I'm like, fuck this company. And I was like, you know what? It's probably cheaper for me to import anyways. Because I think I told you guys last time, it cost me like $20 of shipping to get them for a fucking GameStop in my own country. The last time I imported things from Japan, like it was not I don't think I had to pay that much shipping from Japan. So, but then I looked at the pricing for the Monster Hunter amiibo in Japan, and I was like, that might not be true. Just looking at like the Monster Hunter Rise amiibo prices from Japan, like I think like 2 of them were $40 a piece, and then the Magmallow one, which is the big one, the expensive rare one, like you can't even find it.
Oh God.
So I was like, if you find any leads, let me know. Because I don't want to fuck around with that shit. I don't want to buy it on eBay for like $70. Why is it so difficult? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
That's all I got for news. Unless you guys got anything else.
No.
No, I don't think I have anything.
No? You guys ready to wrap up then?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. Well then, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever. We're there. We're on all the podcast places. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter. You can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to share the podcast with a friend. We always appreciate it. Or if you want to leave us a review, that's cool too. Brandon.
Hey, I got
final
affiliate. I got
Yeah?
affiliate on Twitch. I also have already gotten a few subs from people. That's cool.
That's
If
it.
you have Amazon Prime and you're not using your Amazon Prime sub and you want to throw it my way, feel free to do that. It costs you absolutely nothing. Just log
Well,
in.
how
with
do you do
your
it, Brandon? How do you do it? Because I do not know.
It's very simple. You just log in to Twitch with your Amazon Prime account. After having yourself a Twitch account, obviously, and go to twitch.tv / it is / right? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Kagato Asuka, KAGATOASUKA, and then you'll see on my page down at the bottom something about subscribe, and when you click that, you'll have the option of subscribe for $4.99 a month, or subscribe using your Amazon Prime account. You click that, and then it'll take you to your Amazon Prime account to sign in. You sign in, and then bada bing, bada bam, done. That's it. You just gave me free money that didn't cost you anything, and helped me out. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. I also have, for I think the first 25 people, they'll get some kind of badge that I'm working on that will be a lifetime badge. It'll be a little badge that goes next to their name that they can have on their Twitch account to show that they supported me. And then on top of that, if you subscribe to me, I have emotes that I'm working on. One of them currently exists right now. I have all sorts of other stuff that's in the pipelines right now, and I'm working towards setting up something where we can allow people to just suggest games for me to play and my friends to play, and then we can play them. Whatever you suggest. I'm doing Twitch on every Friday, officially, like scheduled, at 8 p.m. EST. Might be a little bit late, so maybe pop in around 8:15 or 8:20. Because we've got to set everything up and get all the sound quality and all that shit ready for what it is before we go live. So yeah, just pop in around let's just say 8:30. Be there at 8:30 EST on twitch.tv Kagato Asuka. There you go. I just pimp the shit out of my stuff, but with everything that's going on right now, I really need the help.
All right. Nick.
Hi. I got nothing besides I'm also consistently streaming now.
Oh shit. Thank you. Thank you, Mike, for subbing to me. It already told me that you have, so thank you very much for that. I appreciate it very much so.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. EST on, and it's mostly me playing Apex ranked with my friends. So come through.
And I'll join you sometimes.
Yes.
You said Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, right?
Yep.
I'll probably hop in on some of those Tuesday streams if you got room.
Yes.
Because Wednesday is my wrestling night. I sit down with the entire family and watch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And then
moving to Friday.
It is moving to Friday. Where did you see this?
I know everything, Brandon. You should know this.
I know
it. Well, it's moving to Friday this upcoming week because there's a pay-per-view and they're having a 3-day fan fest. So they'll have the official show, live show on Friday. Then Saturday they'll have a meet and greet, and then Sunday's the pay-per-view event. As for the moving to Friday permanently, that's next year, and that's a second AEW show that they're releasing when they move to TBS from TNT. Holy shit, I just gave so much exposition dump for a wrestling show that probably no one gives a shit about, but I enjoy immensely.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've talked about it more in other, so it's not.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that was like a lot of information that I just dumped. Where did you see it? Like legitimately?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I just see things. Reddit, maybe.
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm. Reddit's been like my source for news lately,
Mm.
so I feel like that would probably be the most likely place that I would have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Twitter.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter, and then I don't really check Reddit that much, so.
Yeah. So I don't know. Could you finish your thing? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, I did. We're good.
I'm just awful at being a friend. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Did we sing the Golden Girls theme? Like, thank you for being a friend.
For being a friend. All right, hold on. We're gonna get fucking DMCA real quick because we're too good.
Anyway, so that's that. My name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online on Clash Penguin on Twitter or your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on.
Days Gone got a 5 out of 10 for PC.
Yeah, that's such a shitty review. Because it's actually fucking amazing on PC.
Why did it give a 5 out of 10?
Let's see.
It's literally, the entire review comes down to the person is like, this isn't funny. I don't like that there's no comedy in this very serious biker game about zombies. GameSpot gave it something. Oh god, what have they done now? Why?
I'm trying to see. Okay, so here, I just went back to their TLDR for the bottom. The bad. Deacon has no real character development, and the game is uncritical of his more dubious actions.
There it is.
Deacon's relationship with Sarah is flat and unconvincing. Many narrative arcs are ended abruptly or lack interesting or meaningful conclusions. The open world activities grow repetitive. Poor pacing takes the excitement out of horde fights.
So they just copy and pasted their review from the PS4 version, which was a lie to begin with. Which is also part of the reason why the game did so poorly and did not get a sequel, because a lot of fucking reviewers...
Is it a lie? Because every time I see that game, it looks like boring bullshit.
No, it's probably one of the best games on PlayStation 4 during the generation.
Huge doubt.
No, it's absolutely one of the best PlayStation 4. It's not like top 3, but it's easily in like the top, I'd say 8, easily. PlayStation exclusives. It is. It is absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. You ever seen Sons of Anarchy?
No.
Well, Sons of Anarchy is a really fucking good show. And basically what this game is it's Sons of Anarchy, but in a zombie apocalypse. And it's really fucking good. A lot of the reason why they're talking about, is dubious blah blah bullshit, it's because the main character you play as isn't a good guy. You are literally a biker dude. You are scum. You're not a good person. But that's what makes it interesting.
You know what? But it sounds like their complaint is that nobody is critical of him. Like nobody around him is critical of him.
Because it's the apocalypse. It's literally the apocalypse, and everyone's fighting for themselves. It makes sense. The game's actually really good, and these kind of reviews are the reason why it is not getting a sequel, and why the company that made it, or the developer that made it, got fucking shut down and dragged into Naughty Dog. Because this is exactly what they wanted to do. Yeah, this company's done now. They got rid of them completely.
That hasn't been confirmed, and two, Sony Ben's not really a good company to begin with, so it doesn't really bother me.
They weren't. But what I'm saying is this game was actually phenomenal. I need you to understand how good this game is.
I mean, I can play it because I can get it for free on PS5, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I saw it, it looked really boring.
I mean, I agree with you, Nick, but I haven't played it.
This game is the true sequel to The Last of Us. That's what this is. That's what I've always seen this game as.
Oh, you
Since
should
Last of
replay
Us
that
2
now on
was such a
PS5 because
garbage
there's a
game.
60 frame update.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to check it out. I kind of wanted to see how much better it feels gameplay wise with a higher frame rate.
Yes.
Did they rewrite the story also? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, they didn't remake it yet.
It's a masterpiece, Brandon. It doesn't need to be changed.
I don't know.
It is the game of a generation.